But we made our way down fairly safely, lights on. We got down, I think, around about 1 o'clock in the morning. And so then it was a case of, right, now we've got a 5.5 hour drive, and they'd advised us this was the time to sleep. And so that drive, you can imagine no kind of leg room. I stupidly didn't bring a change of clothes, and so I was in the same clothes that I'd worn at the beginning, the nevis up and down, scalpel up and down. So I was like wet. My clothes were wet. They were soaked with sweat. And then they put the air conditioner on the van, so I was shivering. It was awful. That was wholly my mistake, because everybody else had brought them. So it was fairly cold night's sleep, kind of head against the window, as you keep slipping down. It's kind of that broken sleep. And then eventually the sun comes up, and you just think, I'll just stay up now. But the problem that I experienced was that I'd been told sugar and caffeine is what you need. Sugar and caffeine, sugar and caffeine. So what did I do? The whole time, for the whole 2 mountains before, was literally sugar and caffeine. So it was energy gels, Trek bars, and Monster energy drinks. And so it was a case of my stomach had been absolutely ripped to shreds on the inside. So I got off the bus at Snowdon, and I was like, I'm going to be sick. I'm going to vomit everywhere. And my blood sugar just plummeted to the floor. So I was shivering, and I was going to throw up. And so I've been force-fed salted peanuts by our guides to try and bring the appetite back, at which point my knees started to really, really be painful. And so David and I were kind of stuck at the back of the group, and we were just trying to haul ourselves up Snowdon. It was very much a case of, there was no time. We weren't thinking about how fast we could do it. It's literally a case of, let's just get to the top. And Damien, I'm sure, would much have preferred to kind of motor on, but my knee was in absolute agony. It was like somebody had got a nail and just hammered it through the side of it.
I'd never come down a hill like Nevis and had to jump on a bus and get ready to do it again second time around. So again, Tom and the group took off pretty fast, and Scaffold Pike, you can see how tall Scaffold Pike is from the bottom. You know where you have to walk to. So that was a mental challenge as well. Yeah. It's pretty steep. Even though it's the smallest of the 3 peaks, it's really steep. And it was, I felt like giving up a lot, that having the walking sticks were a lifesaver, because like Tom, I was struggling to lift my legs up steps every so often. Refueling, having plenty of water and protein bars and no energy drinks and stuff like that got me to the top as well. But we got down Scaffold Pike, and then really in between each walk I was taking painkillers as well, because my legs and my hips and my back and everything was seizing up. So ibuprofen was good. And getting to, as Tom said, I did have a change of clothes, but we were trying to change outside behind the bus after every climb, so you could only take off so much.
Yeah, okay.
So I was taking off my top. And, I was changing my top, but I couldn't change much else. Change my socks and stuff. And then it was, I think, 4.5 hour drive or 5.5 hour drive from Scaffold to Snowdon. So I took some more painkillers, and even though we were very lucky with the weather, the climates were all slightly different. Like Snowdon, first thing on the Sunday morning was freezing. I was wearing 3 layers, but it was freezing cold.
And I would say that it's certainly done that. Both this incredible achievement that Tom and Damien have done, which I obviously wasn't aware of any of this. I've deliberately not asked the guys questions. I'm just, completely in awe of what you've done and then what you went through. But we've also did the office to office challenge, which was really good because it was done January, February, March, and we're all over the country here at CPL. So it just brought us all together, all the people that took part in the challenge to recap. The challenge was we walked from the the Scottish office down to the Southern office and back again virtually. So it was 862 miles, which a team of about 8, 9, 10 of us all kind of combined together to cover that distance. And it was so nice. It just brought everyone together, and we all kind of shared pictures, and it's still going now. The challenge is over, but we still have that community, that kind of sense of unity. And I think through all of that, you asked how it's going. So not only have we done that, but we were absolutely amazed to see how much we've raised for the charity so far. It's currently, just before the recording, between the two challenges stands at £2,255 that we've raised between the Office to Office challenge and the Three Peaks challenge. And that's a lot of that has obviously come from our generous sponsors of the challenge, but the Office to Office team, and also Damien and Tom have just done such amazing stuff with it. How we operate it is that the three of us are actually the charity committee. We think about, kind of get creative with ways, different challenges that we can do to raise money for our charity of the year, and also to raise awareness. And then we invite nominations from all of the team. Everybody gets to kind of be part of it. And then as a team, we whittle it down to 3 nominations of charities, and then put it out to public vote on LinkedIn. And that's where Action for Pulmonary Fibrosis comes in. That's somebody internally nominated them, the public vote voted for them, and then we're here working with Andy and the team, who've been absolutely wonderful. So it's really good. It's a really lovely scheme.
Yes, sure. Yeah. Firstly, thank you to CPL, and particularly Tom and Damien for doing such a sterling effort. We do have challenges that are on the level that you can, no elevations at all. Talk to me about those. But pulmonary fibrosis is a group of interstitial lung diseases. It's simply known as scarring, lung scarring. So the scarring causes stiffness around the lungs, making it difficult to breathe, and more importantly, to transport oxygen from the lungs into the blood supply. So your body is starved of oxygen. When I had pulmonary fibrosis, and before my transplant, my oxygen was down to 21% of what it should be for a man of my age. So that's what pulmonary fibrosis does. So when I talked about it takes a lot of breaths earlier on, I wasn't being flippant. That's what it is. And to somebody who's got pulmonary fibrosis, just walking to the car could be their equivalent of Ben Nevis or Scarfell. So that's how pulmonary fibrosis affects the lungs. We estimate roughly that there are around 70,000 people in the UK with it currently, but also we think there's an additional 1,000 people being diagnosed every month.
And I guess to anyone listening, you'll find a link to where you can donate. I mean, sounds like there was a real challenge for these guys. So, let's see if we can raise some more money.